All right, Sarge. Love child, back again because you don't seem to understand. No one mentioned a thing about keeping it real. Listen, I heard your last video, and I know that you all up on Dave Chappelle's sack, but this is not what that is. Realism is a real literary and film genre. It has nothing to do with some urban dictionary version of maintaining respect. It simply means that the art itself seeks to duplicate the real environment as closely as possible. There is a subgenre of realism called naturalism, which includes scientific principles. And in a genre of realism, which the New Yorker called Sinners, horror realism in Southern Gothic. So, in that, as Ryan Coogler attempted to make a piece that was more artistic than cinematic, it's just kind of like with The Color Purple. I think that's something that you didn't understand. Steven Spielberg was used to making epic films. The Color Purple was a novel that was gritty and realistic, and it was completely different than what Steven Spielberg produced. So I think maybe some of the things that you are missing here is that this is a realistic piece, meaning realism, not realistic in the way that you're thinking about it, but in the tradition of realism. And so when you are producing something in a specific genre, there are certain literary traditions and literary devices that you have to use. Again, just as in The Color Purple, there were a lot of literary devices that were used that propelled the plot and accelerated the character development that just were missing in a movie that was screenwritten by a white man and directed by a black man with no regard to the artistic vision of the author. And that's what you're missing here because you keep watching. Look, get off your ass and read a book. But I'm trying to be respectful here. And what I need you to know is I'm not some dumb woman. I'm not none of who you think I am. And what I am explaining to you is that you're missing the mark all up and through here. The realism was life was so hard. Nobody was worrying about getting their wife's hair silked out and pressed out when the Klan was coming to shoot up the house. A woman's virtue and her character, and more importantly, her family name, was much more important than what you are talking about. Now, if you have some information that's different from that, then I would be glad to hear it. But this is nothing to do with keeping it real. This is nothing to do with black beauty promotion. And it's more to do with the vision that Ryan Coogler had when he listened to the blues, the albums from his uncle who passed away, and he wanted to tell that story. And that story was probably in his heart for a very long time. You know, a few years back, I went to Jackson, Mississippi, and I went to the original jazz club where Robert Johnson played, and they had his guitar there. And I used to want to tell that story. I'm a storyteller myself, and I wouldn't want you or anyone else to tell me what I could or could not tell. Now, I do understand that you listen to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who says that black men cannot allow people to tell certain stories about them. It don't work like that. You have no choice. Write your own story. I'd be glad to hear it. All right, then.